Thanks so much for having me. And Derek, thanks for the kind introduction. I'm excited to kick everything off this morning, really just diving into what I think is one of the most important topics that isn't really discussed all that much. What we know the market to be, especially as an early stage founder and a founder in general, is whoever has money and wants to invest in my company, I'm going to take that money happily. Um, for the most part, if there is a good partner that wants to invest in your company and you are raising money, we should always be looking at potentially taking that money. But I do think that there needs to be a deeper evaluation process that needs to take place because what's emerging right now in the market within the VC space is a new type of investor, one where it is closer to the founder, one where the founder can look at an investor more like a co-founder versus just a capital partner. And so today's topic is really around how today's market is reshaping the founder investor dynamics, specifically in changing markets. I know we've always seen this. 3, 4 years ago, we saw crazy rounds and valuations of companies that were pre-product raising 10, 20, 30, $40 million. And now the market has shifted significantly where it's less of a momentum market and much more of a fundamental market where we're seeing investors investing less money, investing in different business models. But there's a big opportunity with these early stage investors right now because the ones that are popping up are very specific and focused in terms of what they want to invest in and the type of businesses they invest in. And again, market conditions shift, and what happens with that is the founder investor relationship shifts. However, I believe every single founder, early stage and late stage, should be searching for the right investor in with the same rigor and passion that they are searching for their own product market fit. And what we're seeing today in this founder investor relationship is obviously it shifts with different markets, but there's a huge opportunity around the importance of alignment between the founder, the product, and their investor. And that is because the type of investors that are popping up right now are ones that are hyper focused on specific industries. Again, my name is Drew Glover. I am one of the general partners at Fiat Ventures. I am also the co-founder at Fiat Growth. We have a very specific VC platform where we started out being a growth consultancy for the fintech space. And we've worked with over 200 companies, driven over a couple $1 billion in recognized revenue to those businesses. But through that process, we got the contractual right to invest in the majority of the businesses that we worked with. And through that, we were able to raise our first venture fund, a $25 million fund in 2022. But what we realized through that process is we became a VC that is hyper focused on go-to-market strategy and efficient ways of scaling growth, specifically within the fintech space. As you hear, that is a hyper focused approach to how we invest. And so when we are working with our different portfolio companies and different clients, they look at us very much as a CMO, co-founder versus just a capital partner. And everyone talks in the market about what is strategic capital. How do we think about strategic capital? I promise you, every investor you speak to is going to tell you that they are strategic capital, that they have some unfair advantage of how they can help you. But the era that we're in right now, in this next generation of VCs, both large and small, because a lot of the large VCs are transitioning to this, kind of with that Andreessen model of having massive platform teams. But what's happening in this next generation of investors is they're hyper focused, they're focused on specific industries, and as you as a founder, it's on you to find the VCs that are focused on your industry that can join as more of an operational thought co-founder versus just a capital partner. And again, driving into operations, marketing, distribution, capital markets. I could go down the list here, but these firms are so hyper focused. Their whole thesis is we're going to invest in the investor market fit just as much as we invest in the founder market fit of these relationships. Because our hope is by you working with us, we can push you into success faster because we have an unfair advantage with the type of business that we're creating here. So expertise driven VCs, hyper focused investors that can get you to product market fit at light speed. And then again, like think of them more so as co-founders as you're evaluating them as VC partners. And remember, just as much as they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them. Again, I'm not telling you to turn down really great capital when you've already had 400 or 500 conversations here. I'm just saying that as much as you feel like you're not in the driver's seat, you are, because a lot of the VCs today are already are already focused on the product and space and industry that you're working in. Um, you know, again, as I look back here, I'm a VC that's a power law investor, and most VCs are. We're investing in multi-billion-dollar ideas that are going to disrupt markets and create generational businesses. As a VC, I am underwriting founders in the most hypercritical way. And as a founder, you should make sure that you are evaluating the VC market in a similar way because of your opportunity to build such deep kind of co-founder driven relationships here. So make sure that you are leaning in with this rigorous selection. Approaching it the same way you find product market fit or scale your business or hire your co-founder. Um, Also make sure that these through the VC relationships you have, again, every single VC is going to tell you that they are smart capital. Every single one of them is going to tell you that they have the best network and platform team that's going to get you to the next phase. Just like a lot of advisors might say to you, like, hey, bring me on as an advisor and I can do XYZ. Once the contract is signed and the equity is given or the money's given, and you're starting to see those emails saying, hey, can you help me in that way you told me you helped me? A lot of times you just catch kind of Z's and they're sleeping at the wheel saying, hey, we invested, like, go build your thing. Make sure that you are underwriting your investor relationship and your potential investor as a potential growth accelerant because they have unfair advantages with their network or their platform that can get you there. And also make sure that you're working with strategic partners within the VC space where they can also help continue to add value from a financial standpoint through the long term. I think a lot of times, we are looking at VC relationships and saying, great, we got the check. That's all that matters right now. But, a lot of this next generation of VCs, they really want to make sure that they're doubling and tripling down in subsequent rounds. So just make sure you're having that conversation as just a call out here. Um, and so, keep in mind, there's a lot of these really successful firms. I'll make sure that I actually put that list together and share it with the team for a later date, just in case you guys all want access to it. Again, they're strategic co-founders, and this is the future of VC. Uh, for many years, VCs were able to get away with not having a platform team because capital was the only thing that mattered. But with where the market is today, how easy it is to stand up a business, how easy it is to scale a business, and how easy it is to take a network and digitize that network and get the most out of it. A lot of the VCs that typically would need to go raise 500 or $1 billion to start building their own platform team no longer need to do that. Technology can optimize their business where their platform team is actually a tech stack versus a team of 10 or 30 or 40 different people that are ex-operators of Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 companies. So keep in mind, like, as you're chatting with some of these earlier stage VCs that used to just be hamstrung, now they actually have the technology that can make them a powerhouse in terms of value add to your business and opportunity. So just keep in mind here, like, the key takeaways, adaptive relationships. Although the relationship between VCs and founders change as market shift, if you find the right VC that has a hyper focus on where you're building, the market conditions don't matter at all because they understand how to navigate the market regardless of the market that we're sitting in today. And also, they are so hyper focused on what you're building and the market you're in, the industry they're in, they are leaning in regardless. Specialized expertise. These are non-traditional VCs that I'm talking about here. So the value goes beyond capital. They're cutting through the market like I just spoke about. The VC market fit, as a VC, I'm looking for founder market fit. I'm looking for someone that, if you're going to build the next electric car, I want to know you work for Tesla for the last 15 years. If I'm going to invest in your company, you should be, and you're building a fintech that's a direct to consumer money management tool, you should be making sure that there's a partner in that VC firm or a GP that has that same type of experience and they have a platform that can give you an unfair advantage to scale. And then last but not least is just like the evolving ecosystem. Like, I believe we're just at the forefront of this change happening. So we're going to start seeing a lot more VCs with a much stronger platform and ones you can approach with this kind of co-founder mentality. I believe you're going to see it a lot more in the earlier stage because these are people that are trying to take pre-seed and seed companies and turn them into multi-billion dollar businesses and get them to their A, B, and C rounds. We're going to see a little bit less in the later stage, but I do believe technology is going to make it so every VC, regardless if they have a platform team or not, technology is going to optimize them to become a lot more effective as they help you get from 0 to 1 and 1 to 5 and 5 to 10. Where do we find these non-traditional VCs? So there's a couple ways to do it. The first thing is look at the specific space that you're building in, and then there's a number of different lists that list out all the different VCs that are out there. The majority of the lists that you'll see are the ones that are the tried and true. The ones that we've all known about. The Andreessens, the Accels. I could go down the list here. Over the last, I'd say 6 to 7 years, there have been over 100 different early stage VCs that have popped up. To find them, it's not as obvious as you think. You actually really need to just activate your network and really start asking individuals of who are the most who are the VCs that I should be connecting with that are not the ones that are in the top 100. And so, frankly, from my standpoint, I have a list that I can share after this that are ones that are specifically in fintech and ones that are adjacent. But in terms of you being able to activate them in your network, you truly need to activate your network and ask the right questions. Another question here. What potential biases or limitations should be considered when using AI for investment decisions? This is a tough question. We don't, especially specifically at Fiat Growth or Fiat Ventures, we don't use it as much to make decisions, but we use it more so to organize existing information that we have. So keep in mind, the Fiat Ventures model is a little bit different because around 60% of our investments are companies that we previously worked with at Fiat Growth. So if we worked with a company for 3 to 6 months, we're taking information, pulling from our team who's overseeing all their growth efforts, and we're putting that into different AI products to organize the underwriting data. So by the time we've identified a business as a really incredible opportunity to invest, we already have a ton of organized, structured data that we can use to kick off what is the traditional VC process. And so I would think about it less around AI of telling you how you should invest and more so of organizing all the data in the market to make it so you can get to the decision conversation quicker with your GP set versus you guys having to spend all this time organizing information to underwrite it. Can you say more about what a platform is for a venture firm? Is this technical resources for startups? So what a platform team looks like, and again, one thing that we've seen is you don't really have the ability to build a traditional platform team until you have a couple $100 million under management. Keep in mind, a VC firm makes money 2 different ways. They make money on the carry, so the success of the business, if they go public or sell for a ton of money. But the other one is the management fee. That is 2% of the money that they've raised. You have the ability to spend that money in however you want. One is, salaries to the actual venture capitalist. The other one is legal fees, which there are a ton of, more than you could ever imagine. And the other one is what's left over is really the platform. That is, do I hire that developer that worked for a firm, in the early days and use that individual to actually come in and help my portfolio around like very technical needs and issues or challenges. What we're seeing today is, and we actually started something, I'm going to drop this in here, called Fiat Advisors, which was kind of our version of a platform team, is where we have this incredible network of all these people that have full-time jobs at some of the most incredible tech companies. And we actually bring them in as 1099 workers with Fiat Growth, and we have 250 of them. And whenever we have either a portfolio company or a really early stage company at Fiat Growth that needs help, we actually just play matchmaker with them and one of those advisors within our platform. Keep in mind, we have not hired any of these people. We do not pay any of these people directly from Fiat Growth. What we have is we do have one person that is the general manager of Fiat Advisors, and they play matchmaker. So whenever someone needs help, we connect them to someone else, and we make sure that we negotiate like a really fair, affordable deal based on where that founder is in their specific journey. So if that's pre-seed, I've never raised any money before. If it is idea stage, if it is we just raised a seed or a series A, we're making sure we're connecting them to the advisor that's also able to execute based on the specific needs they have. So in general, a platform team is really whatever you want it to be, but it has to be able to add value to your entire portfolio based on the specific stage that they're in as they're continuing to scale. Drew, what do you see coming in the market with VC funding giving new historical interest rates cuts in venture, or is venture back on the up? I think that the interest rates cuts are going to change the market significantly. As you saw, they went down, they went up, so we're really unsure of what's going to happen with the Fed. But I do believe that, and I've seen this both as a general partner that's constantly raising money for their own venture funds, and as a investor that's investing in founders and talking to a lot of my peers in the space. I believe the market has been opening for the last 6 to 7 months here. Conversations that were being had of just trying to keep founders warm for when they do want to deploy money till now, where I actually believe that the conversations are meaningful and people are talking about actually investing in a lot of the businesses that are out there and even investing in venture funds, right? Like, don't forget, as the market shift, it's not just founders and investors investing in founders that are the only part of this industry that is affected. It's also VC funds trying to raise money from LPs so they can then invest in these founders. So it really is cyclical, right? And so I believe that there's going to be a lot of opportunity in the space. There's a lot of dry capital that needs to be invested. Keep in mind, most venture funds are 10 years. And so we need to invest that money typically in two to three, sometimes 4 years. So at the end of those 10 years, we're starting to recognize returns. So just keep in mind here that, VCs need to invest the money that their LPs have invested in them. And so I think we're starting to get to an input point here where you can't really sit on dry powder anymore. And that is just so happening, aligning with, some of the rate cuts. And then I'm gonna stop sharing here. And then the other one, I think capital markets are going to open up. Keep in mind, there's a lot of businesses that need debt facilities. There's a lot of businesses that need debt. It's been really tough to do that, the debt markets, and those are starting to open up now because of the rate cuts as well. Can a VC invest in a disruptive idea or a prototype? Yes. However, and I'll speak for myself here. We're early stage venture fund, typically investing in seed companies. We will invest in pre-seed companies, and we will invest in ideas. The big difference is I will not, and I will never, mark my words here, invest in someone that from an idea or a prototype that I just met off the street, unless I will invest in it if I've worked with that founder before in a multitude of ways, and I know for a fact that they have the ability to turn this into 0 to 1 to many opportunity. And then the other one is, and I hate to say this, as a African American in the space, I always want to make it so I give access to as many people as I can that want to get into this. But when you talk about an idea stage or prototype type stage idea, the other one is really just making sure that my network is telling me, hey, this is a no-brainer, it's a can't miss. And also making sure that that person that's saying that to me, they're also investing too. And we're actually coming together to share our underwriting process to make it so we are, crossing our T's and dotting our I's. A lot of VCs, although I'm sure there's some competitors out there, the majority of us play well together because when it comes down to us underwriting a deal together, we're sharing insights, we're sharing underwriting. So if you have an investor that's really excited about your idea or product or anything, and they've invested in you, they're always going to be the best person to connect with another potential investor, because you've aligned to their thesis, you've aligned to your ability to as a founder, and they're excited about your business to turn into something massive. I don't see any other questions here, but I did share my LinkedIn, if anybody wants to connect, and more than happy to chat more, and I'll make sure that because it's probably not easy for me to just send everything to the entire Startup Grind crew. What I'll do is I'll put a list together of a lot of those VCs and I'll just post it on LinkedIn. So if you check me out, you don't need to follow me. You don't need to. You can just make sure you just look on my page and I'll make it so it's available to everyone. And I'll do that in the next couple days here because I have that list readily available.